Is Black Ops 6 good and everything you need to know? The gunsmith and making your loadout now is super easy. In MW2 and MW3 you had to level up one gun, get it to a certain level to be able to put that attachment onto a different gun, which would cause a lot of issues. There was also so many attachments on all of the different guns as there were so many attachments to unlock for every single gun. Now there's far less attachments and most of them only have pros. Some of them do have cons, but not many of them. The perk system is super simple compared to the last few years. Making your loadout this year is way easier than it's ever been. Of course, we got to talk about the gameplay. The movement overall feels great. I've seen a lot of people mention that the game feels a little bit clunky or bulky and they don't really like the way the game feels. Having the right settings makes a huge difference in this game. I noticed it a ton when I first started playing. Once you get those right settings and the game starts to feel a lot better. And of course you need to put in that playtime to really understand the game and how the movement really works. I think they did a great job with the Omni movement, running in all directions, sprinting in all directions. The game feels really good and fluid, which I was honestly a little bit scared about at first. The way the movement works is completely new, and knowing Call of Duty, honestly, you learn to expect a lot of bugs, but overall the movement felt really polished and really clean, and that was way more and way better than I expected. The kill streaks still aren't very good. When you get a lot of kills, you want to get that really nice kill streak like the chopper gunner or something really OP, because you just got so many kills in a row. You really want to take advantage because you sometimes don't get those huge kill streaks all the time. So getting those really cool kill streaks that can help you get a lot more kills are always way more fun. But this year, a lot of the kill streaks feel pretty weak. This year, like the last few years, the spawns have just not been good. But I will say during the first week of the beta compared to the second week, the spawns got way better. And there's a lot of work to still be done, but that's happened with the past few years. Every single game that's come out, the spawns at the beginning of the game just aren't very good. And as the game progresses and people are playing the game more, they get way more data and they're able to fix those kind of issues. I don't think SBMM is ever going to go away, but this year I feel like it has been implemented pretty well and pretty similar to the way it's been done in the past. From what I can tell, we've had a lot of positive feedback on the game, a lot from casuals and a lot from competitive players. That means skill-based is kind of doing its job and keeping everybody in their about skill range, letting everybody have fun in all different sections of the game. Some people who are casual and only play a few times a week or even a few hours. A small mention here that I think a lot of people don't actually know is that anywhere from 0.9 above is actually pretty average or above average for a skill level in Call of Duty. The reason it's not an exact 1, a lot of the time it's usually a 1-to-1 ratio, is that sometimes you can blow yourself up with a grenade or kill yourself with a kill streak, and there's a lot more ways to die than there is to actually get a kill. This year might be a little different because assists are counting as eliminations, meaning it seems like you're actually getting a kill when sometimes you might have just put a bullet or two into somebody and someone on your team might have gotten that kill. The servers and packet loss have been a terrible problem since the beginning of the beta. I had a lot of issues the first week of the beta. I know a lot of my friends and people I know had a lot of issues during that first week, and some people were perfectly fine. In the second week of the beta, my game felt great. All of the games, the desync, and a lot of the server issues that I was running into with packet loss felt a lot better, and the game felt a lot cleaner. What I found out later is that a lot of people who were having really good servers and really good connection the first week ended up having really bad connections. I'm not 100% sure what they changed. Maybe they flip-flopped it and just made a switch to make sure everybody felt like they were enjoying the game. I'm not 100% sure, but this is for sure an issue, and hopefully they figure it out soon. There's a new field upgrade that you need to know about called Sleeper Agent because it's really strong. You can basically turn into someone that looks like they're on the enemy's team. That means when you use this field upgrade, enemies will see that blue marker above your head, meaning that they think you're on their team, and you can just walk up to them and shoot them. The field upgrade itself lasts a long time, and I've easily gotten 5, 6, or 7 kills in one time of use, which I think is a little too strong. I do think the idea is really cool. It could really be cool in something like an LTM mode, a custom game mode, where there's shenanigans and a little bit more fun and messing around, but in regular game, I don't think it makes much sense. A lot of people have different opinions on the maps, but I'll tell you this, the maps are very small in comparison to the older games. When we take a look at the last few years, these maps are way smaller than they usually have been, which some people might really like, some people might not. I think it's a cool idea to kind of have a little bit more of a fast-paced game. One issue I have is I wonder how good rifles and things like snipers are going to be when all of the engagements you end up getting into are on a much more smaller scale. Rifles might not be as good this year, which I know they're trying to kind of nerf because sometimes rifles are really strong in comparison to things like SMGs when it comes to regular multiplayer. They already made balancing changes within the first 2 weeks of the beta, and we love to see that. Like I mentioned, they made changes to the spawns, which felt really good. They made balancing changes to the guns when the Jack was really OP. They definitely nerfed that gun. The PDW was just way too strong, and kind of every single person you ran into inside of those lobbies the first week was using that gun. The second week of the beta, there was a lot more optionality. A lot of people were using a lot of different guns, and you love to see that they're actually taking care of the balancing that's happening in the game, and I hope they keep this up for the full release of the game. Footstep audio is always a big topic, especially when it comes to competitive and even casual play. The reason it's important in casual play is because if footsteps are too loud, that means you have to run Ninja, and that takes up a perk slot, especially with the way they did the perks this year, having the different sections with red, green, and blue. You want to be able to hit that specialty, and if footsteps are too loud or overbearing and they're really easy to hear, which sometimes they do, then you're going to have to be running that blue perk to make sure you're getting Ninja, which might not be what you actually want to be running. The first week of the beta, footsteps were not great. There was a lot of situations when you would want to hear someone and you're not actually hearing them. And in the second week, I noticed a huge improvement in the changes where when I was running around, if I wanted to or I thought I should hear someone, I am hearing them. There are situations where you're on a smaller map and there's a lot of explosions or a lot of noises happening where you can't hear footsteps, which you should expect. If you're on a battlefield and a lot of things are happening, you shouldn't have perfect audio over everything that's happening around you. Once the noise quiets down or there's not a lot of fighting at the exact moment, you can hear footsteps a little better, and it's not like you're hearing them from really far away. You can hear them in a certain direction, in a certain area, and you know to be able to turn around or look a certain direction. There's not going to be any early access for the campaign this year, and I think that's a huge negative. As a content creator, it's always nice to go in, play the game, and get a little bit of experience in the game, make some videos on it, and get some idea of how the game's actually going to play before the full game releases. By the time the full game releases, there's going to be zombies, there's going to be a campaign, and there's going to be multiplayer. A lot of people all have their main grind. A lot of people are going to go straight into zombies. A lot of people are going to go straight into multiplayer, and how many people are actually going to go in, play the campaign, and really spend some time in it? For me, I probably won't even end up playing it because I'm going to go straight into the camo grind when the game comes out, grinding out camos and multiplayer, and just playing multiplayer because that's my main content. So why would I want to go into the campaign, spend tons of hours recording and playing the game, and then have to go back and edit those same time? There must be something in the data that they've seen over the last 2 years that says that this might not be a good idea. Maybe it's a drop in sales, maybe people are canceling the pre-order after playing the campaign. I'm not 100% sure, but they must have something because of course this is a business first. The time to kill is absolutely perfect this year. I have to say they really nailed it. I think this is the third or fourth longest time to kills we've seen in Call of Duty, and the game feels really great in this perspective. It does take a little bit of time to be able to kill an enemy, and you do have a little bit of wiggle room. While it does feel sometimes like you're dying really quickly, that issue is more on the server side that I mentioned before. A lot of skilled players are talking about wanting a higher TTK, but the issue with the higher TTK is a lot of people are going to end up stacking sometimes, and when you run into two players at the same time, the one solo is never going to be able to kill multiple people. And this is multiplayer we're talking about. One person should be able to go on big streaks, kill multiple people in a row, and not have too many issues about having to reload or do a lot of things in between. Remember, this is Call of Duty. It's an arcade shooter. It's not supposed to be the most competitive game in the world. While the skill gap might not be huge, even if the game itself is easy, some people are of course going to be better than others. Aim assist was nerfed in close range, or it was basically turned off. Rotational aim assist doesn't exist within 3 or 4 meters of your player character, and I think this was actually a great change. I definitely think aim assist needed a nerf. Was this the right way to do it? That I'm not 100% sure I agree with. I think aim assist overall needs a nerf in almost all ranges. I think it needs to be slightly tuned down a little bit, and I think that would average out all of the different fights a little bit better. But I'm not an expert, I'm not a game developer, and I don't have all the data that they see on their end. I haven't been a huge zombies player since I started making content, but honestly, zombies looks pretty similar to Cold War, and I think it looks like a W. We're going to be getting one map on launch, and then also a small map, I believe, which is going to be basically a small part of the regular map on a smaller scale, so people can go in, play a little zombies, get a feel for how the game works, and then go into the big map, do the Easter egg, and have a lot of fun in there. The thing I did notice is sniping doesn't seem super powerful. While it is annoying when you're going up against a sniper because you kind of just get one hit and you're not able to go on huge streaks because you're dying to a sniper sometimes, overall I don't actually think they're super strong. Like I mentioned, I don't think the rifles are going to really shine this year because of a lot of the ranges of the fights. Call of Duty is kind of known for sniping, 360 no scopes, a lot of videos and clips like that, so hopefully they kind of bring them back, update them a little bit, or maybe there's a sniper that's not in the game right now or that wasn't in the beta that's actually going to be a lot better for when the full game releases. This beta overall feels great. I've been playing the beta for the past 4 years now, and this is the first time the beta feels clean and super polished. The game feels like it could come out right now and I'd be happy to play it. From what I've seen on all social medias, a lot of people actually seem pretty happy about this game. Of course, there's always those little bit of haters, but the general feedback from all skill levels and all different groups of people is that this game looks really fun, it seems really fun, and it feels really good right now. A lot of people I know are waiting for Warzone, which we don't have a lot of information on, but it should be pretty similar to multiplayer, and I'm really excited to see where this game goes. And that's everything you need to know about Black Ops 6 in the beta. As always, thank you guys for watching, and have a great rest of your day.